Good afternoon. Actually, I will continue in this excellent paper of Leszek, and I try to show you the roots, actually, of some of these motifs. My main topic, I will focus on the problem of the syncretism of the Slavic religion at first at the pagan level, and then syncretisms between Christianity and paganisms and something to pagan reaction. The first or two stages or phases of this process, it means 6th, 7th century, 8th century, I go very shortly through because I was speaking about it already at the conference in Poznań and here in Prague, and more participants are here. And I will focus on the 9th century and 10th century especially. I will be in my paper very particular. I focused on small region in the South Moravia, but we can go through over a long time, over 400 years actually. This area is quite important because it is a, let's say, border situation, contacting area between more, let's say, world system, Slavic world, Germanic world, and nomadic Avar world. And we have a contact here between these zones or systems. We have here at one side this very early Slavic, let's say, cremation burials and settlements, and very shortly before the Germanic inhumation of Lombards and so on, and we are in contact with the Avar Khaganate. Also, at first, something about the contact between Germanic and Slavic beliefs. This is a chronological model which is built on dozens of radiocarbon data from South Moravia, and it is very clear that this, let's say, Germanic occupation is, let's say, in very close contact with this early Slavic occupation in that area. This changed sometimes in the second half of the 6th century. And these Lombards inhumations, these settlements were overlapped by the early Slavic cremations and settlements. We excavated in 2017 one of these early Slavic settlement in a site called Lani, with very typical bundle of let's say, marks or characteristic issues of these early Slavic settlements, like sunken hearts, Prague type pottery, and so on. Very typical early Slavic settlement dated to the second half of the 6th century, 7th century. But what was very surprising, in one of the pit, together with the pottery of the Prague type, we found this this animal rib, cutler rib, with the inscription, which was actually, as you can recognize, the order foot arc. It means the last section of this Germanic alphabet, which is, as you know, very close connected with this mythological word of the Germanic people. But this bone was radiocarbon dated to the time around the 600 AD. It means it was the time when, according to written sources, also according to archaeological research, all these Germanic tribes should be moved out of Moravia. It should be actually Slavic in the sense of the archaeologically classification. Yeah. And what does it mean? It means that this runic bone is a very important point in the discussion about the contacts between Germanic and Slavic world and let's say region system. One of the most important object which is connected with the Germanic mythology is this very known golden horn from Galehus, where we have the inscription in the runic letters and these many scenes which are connected with this Germanic word. One of this picture, this very different animals and some humans and so on, is this very interesting motif of the snake eating a man or a frog, we don't know. But what is important, we found this very similar motif at the same site where we found this runic bone, it means in Lani. But this motif was on the belt ends produced in the Avar style. It is a part of this Avaric belt sets. This is this scene, which means something. It is this agency, as Leszek mentioned. It is a frog. It is a snake who eating a frog or frog-like creature. What is important for us, we have more of, let's say, the same belt ends spread it around the whole East Central Europe, from the Avar Khaganate to the Bavarian, East Bavaria region. But all of this area are from this Slavic speaking zone. And in Avar Khaganate, we have published a few months ago an article in Journal of Archaeological Science about with the very detailed analysis of the morphology as well as of the chemical analysis of this object, and they were very probably produced in one workshop or copy according to one piece later. And in Lani, we identified one of these workshops which produced in the Slavic era this Avar style fittings. It is quite interesting. It is some syncretism combination of Germanic, Avar, and Slavic tradition. What does this scene means? According to my opinion, we can speak about very important elements which we now in the Slavic beliefs or religion world. The frog could represent the famous principle, perhaps this mokosh. We now, from this now Ukraine and Belarus textile, very similar motifs to the motif we have on these belt ends. And these frogs are known from the later objects we know from the ethnography and some votives objects in churches and so on. This tradition, this famous principle, this mokosh, was perhaps later transmitted to this San Paraskeva saint, known in the Eastern Church, especially in Ukraine, Russia, and so on. This saint is known because she was fighting against the snakes in the pit and so on and so on. This is very known legend. The snake, we were heard about it already in the last paper, is also very important also for the Avar zone. According to some mythologies, the ancestor of Avar tribe from the China area or the China border area origin from the worms or snakes. Also, it should be a symbol of the Avar tribe. But in this Slavic tradition or origin, snake perhaps is some chthonic deity, perhaps some symbol of Veles. We know it from the known Old Czech text, Kadleček, where the Veles is synonym for devil and from the dragon or snake. And yeah, the fight with dragon or snake, it should be some kind of the symbol of the repetition of creation, fertility, meat, and so on and so on. According to Jakobson, the Veles is able to transform himself into a dragon or snake. And so we are going to the basic myth of Ivanov and Toporov. According to him, in the roots of the world axis lies a cosmic snake and dragon. And in this connection, the fight against Perun and Veles, it is this fight which was speaking Andrei about it, continues with the infidelity of Mokosh and Veles. And perhaps especially this scene, the snake and the frog in the fight could be this analogical situation to this Mokosh and Veles infidelity. But of course, it is a little bit speculative. Yeah. Anyway, we have, according to Michal Tera, these three important elements of the Slavic religion: this great female goddess, perhaps this frog, this chthonic deity, perhaps this snake, right? And then the third solar function. Now we can go away, and I can show you that we have these two belt ends from the 8th century, this in Avar star made fittings. But we have another one belt ends. It is not no more Avar style, but Carolingian style. Yeah, and this Carolingian style fitting was found in Pohansko, in the burial ground around the church, in the context of Christianity, Christian burial ground.
Church number 1.
Church number 1, yeah. And you can see on the back side of this belt ends was this very interesting creature. I want only to show that we are in really small region. Yeah, this Lani side is only 3 kilometers south of Pohansko. Yeah, it was the previous center of this area from the 7th, 8th century, and the center moved to Pohansko. Yeah, what is one of the main center of Great Moravian Empire. Yeah, and you can see, we can see on this very schematic scene, the same elements we have very concrete on this older belt ends. Also, it is some kind of the schematization of the same scene, yeah, same motif. Yeah, it is the kind of schematization, and we go through hundreds of years. Yeah, it is from the 8th century. Now we are in the 9th century. Yeah? And we are in the situation of the Christian pagan syncretism. Also, Great Moravia, you know about it, of course, about the missions to Moravians from the western, from the Passau and Regensburg, Salzburg, and especially, and from the Constantinople. And of course, we have these big central places of Great Moravia, Mikulčice, Staré Město, and of course also Pohansko. Pohansko was a huge agglomeration, 60 hectares, with 2 churches we now up to date. The first church was in the ducal court. The second church was in the suburb. The second church was discovered, let's say, 15 years ago. It was a new discovery, and we think that it was the church and the seat of the governor of the castle. But this ducal court is very known, excavated already in 50s and 60s, and in one of these graves, grave number 13, it is the grave with this very similar bird-like fitting. Leszek presented very similar from Ostrov Lednický, and this and with this schematic scene of the snake and frog. But we are in the context of the Christian burial ground. But before the church was there perhaps some kind of the pre-Christian sanctuary fence, and in this fence was secondary laid the church. It is not surely, but we are thinking about it because the orientation of the old system, it is exactly oriented to the summer solstice. The graves around the church were dated from the 9th to the beginning of the 10th century. They are the graves with the swords. The graves with the swords are stratigraphically in the lower positions, and according to the radiocarbon dating, they are from the end of the 8th century, 9th century. One of these graves is a little bit later from the perhaps beginning of the 10th century. But now it is really, it was shocked for us. It is absolutely new discovery by colleague of mine, Renata Přichystalová and Petr Dressler. They tried to date it also other graves, and one of these graves, which was found under the wall of this church, is dated to the 6th or 7th century. Inhumation, yeah, it is actually the oldest Slavic inhumation, if Slavic, we know, yeah. And actually, it is the radiocarbon dating is exactly the same as this runic bone, yeah. Also, this is a very interesting transmission situation, and perhaps we don't know. It is very new, everything, but perhaps we have here some pre-Christian sanctuary, which could perhaps which roots could lay some very, very old time, 6th, 7th century, perhaps. And but what is very important, this summer solstice orientation is very important for the all agglomeration in Pohansko, not only for this first church and this ducal court. You can see everything is oriented to the church and to the previous fence, yeah, this hypothetical sanctuary. And also the other churches, or the other church, the second church, is oriented in the same way, yeah. And all the graves actually, or most of them, are oriented also according to main axis of these churches. Also, as well as the grave of the founder of the church, which is dated, radiocarbon dated to the end of the 9th century, 10th century. And also we have here this court of this governor of, this is hypothetical, of course, hypothetical, governor of the castle from this suburb, perhaps the founder of the second church. And you can see here this palisades, the system of palisades around this court, and there is one important point. here, this is the main corner of this whole system. And we found in this corner this grave, which is offering. It is not normal position. And this hocker, crunched grave, is radiocarbon dated to the end of the 9th century or 10th century. Actually, you know that the Great Moravia collapsed sometimes during the 10th century. And in our opinion, it was followed by the pagan reaction. And why we think about it? We know from these churches, from the first church, from the narthex of the church, you know, fireplaces. And so it was used as a normal dwelling, no more as a church. But we have also at least two pagan or cult objects. One was found nearby to the first church, and it was stratigraphically above the Great Moravian grave. Also, it is younger, than the Great Moravian grave. And you can see the situation. It was very close to the church, And the second similar, let's say, the same sanctuary was found at the place where in the pre-Great Moravian period was a cremation burial ground of the early Slavs. We have, together with Andrei, we made some special analysis of it in the vicinity of this second shrine, pagan shrine, where human burial grounds, but also horses, And it is quite important. There are graves of horses, and they all are in some system which is oriented according to summer and winter solstice. And if we can look of this nice reconstruction of sanctuaries, it was made by Rostislav Skopal. He was a technician in Mikulčice excavations, and he has so nice pictures about his vision about our archaeological interpretation. Also, we have a very nice description about very similar sanctuaries from the Ibn Fadlan, where this Rus, actually Slavic, Viking, merchatories and people who came to the Volga Bulgars had own sanctuaries, great wooden post stuck in the ground with the face like that of the man, surrounded with little figures, and there were also long wooden stakes driven in the ground around it. Also, we have all these elements, one big pot in the middle, surrounded by the other, and then a fence around it. It is exactly what Ibn Fadlan described. And also, it is in description is that they brought the gifts to the idol, especially sheep and cows, which were slaughtered and distributed around this sanctuary. We have no sheep, but we have horses. And the horse is an old Indo-European symbol of the sun, as we know from Trondheim, for example, and so on. And these 8 elements in the circle, perhaps similar to the Svarok, and so cross and the solstice orientation. It should be a symbol of the sun and a repetition of the year and so on. Also, if I can conclude, I think that in Pohansko and surrounding, we can document the syncretism of the Slavic region, which is in fact not Slavic, but Indo-European, combining this Germanic, but also nomadic Avars and later also Christian parts of these beliefs, and everything together. It is what we can call Slavic religion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm happy I finally saw the second part of the presentation. I should have stopped you a while ago, but I wasn't able to. So unfortunately, we have space only for one quick comment or question. Stamatis was the first.
Thank you. Yes, I would like, thank you very much for the very interesting presentation. Yes, my question is not at all provocative. I mean, it's just a stupid question of somebody who's not archaeologist. I'd like to know how you proceed your material. I mean, we know that the motive that you examine is not a decorative motive. It's not just a simple decorative motive, but there is a religious background behind. I mean, the motive with the frog, for example, we know that we have to proceed it like we have to examine it like a motive that it can be placed in a religious background, and mainly to connect it, and the specific one with Mokos, that is a deity that we know absolutely nothing. Actually, we have only one source, the primary chronicle, and just the name, and nothing that's, I mean, then whatever we know about Mokos is just reconstruction, very late reconstruction. So what really intrigues me here is how we know that a more religious motive, if not just simple decorative motive.
We don't know. It is, of course, only the construction, but yeah, you know, my main argument for it is this continuity to this Great Moravian area, yeah, because this was this schematic motif on this Carolingian belt ends, because this scene was not visible. It is on the inner side of the belt ends, yeah, and it was important only for the owner, yeah, of this belt, or and I think, and it was a repetition in this scene, in this motif, yeah, over hundreds of years. And therefore, I think it was very important for the people. It was in the mind of them, and it was certainly not decorative in the case of this Carolingian belt ends, because it is very nice. It is gilded. Yeah, it has, from one side it is very nice Carolingian work. Yeah, of high quality. Yeah, but from the back side it is with this motif, which is not nice. It is ugly, actually, but the idea was more important than, yeah, this.